All right, good evening, everyone. I think we will get our presentation underway. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. My name is Neil Dudley. I am with AmaWaterways, and tonight I'm very excited because we are actually going to focus on our exotic rivers, and that includes the Mekong, that includes the Chobe, and that includes the Nile River. So very excited. These are very different. As some of you may be aware, I know some of you have been joining me each and every evening for our focused presentation on specific rivers. Tuesday night was the Danube and Rhine. Last night was the rivers of France and Portugal, and tonight will be our exotics. If you were interested in any of the other ones and could not tune in live, just send a message to your travel advisor who would have invited you on tonight, and they can get the link from me and send it over to you. Now, on that note, of course, if there are any of you who are on the webinar tonight and do not have a travel advisor, please let me know and I can connect you with the closest travel advisor to you geographically in order to book anything with AmaWaterways, because all of our business goes through our valued travel advisors. So tonight, folks, welcome. Hopefully at this stage of the presentation, you are able to see on your screen the home shot of the AmaWaterways River Cruise experience, as well as myself on the webcam and hearing me through your computer audio. One thing to keep note of, there will be some videos in the presentation, so please make sure that you've got your volume turned all the way up on your computer in order that you are able to hear those when they are playing. Now, during the presentation itself, you'll notice that you will be on listen-only mode, and that's just to keep down any sort of background noise. But if you have any questions at all during the presentation, please just type them into the little chat box. I will answer them at the end of the presentation, which should last for about 35 or 40 minutes. So welcome again. I'm very excited because I love Europe, but honestly, I love our exotic destinations, incredible ways of seeing these beautiful areas of the world. So this is Team Canada representing AmaWaterways here. Of course, there's myself taking care of everybody in Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. You've got the lovely Sandra Gardner in the middle. She's based out in Halifax, but she is our Director of National Accounts. And then the lovely Shauna Carter is out on the West Coast taking care of everybody in BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. But that's the Canadian family, but we are part of a larger Ama family, and we are a family owned and operated company, two main families since our inception 18 years ago, and we've got a very special bond because AmaWaterways' birthday is on Canada Day, so we're very excited about that connection. Well, you've got Rudy and Christine there on the left-hand side, husband and wife team from Germany and Austria, really bringing a lot of great in-depth knowledge to our main destination, of course, which is Europe. And then you've got the Murphys on the right-hand side from the US. So internationally owned and operated company, and that truly is reflected in the product itself, as well as wanting to be internationally represented on all of the major rivers around the world. Now, I'm going to show you something here. It just kind of shows that Rudy has always wanted to be involved in river cruising, and it kind of dates back to his very first river cruise experience. And this was back in 1975, folks, over on the Amazon. And let me just pull up, because we actually are lucky enough to have live footage of Rudy on his very first river cruise experience, which inspired him to truly want to bring an amazing luxury river cruise experience to the world. But yes, this is live footage actually. There is Rudy close up on his very first river cruise experience. Now, fear not, he has taken what he's learned from the Amazon and come a long, long ways, folks. There is no more manual labor involved in your program or your luxury river cruise experience anymore. But it just goes to show you that is where Rudy's roots came from and really got him inspired for building some of the most outstanding luxury river cruise ships, not only in Europe, but all around the world. Now, right now we have a fleet of 25 ships sailing the various rivers around the world. And Rudy's dream has always been to make sure that no matter where you're cruising with us around the world, you are getting that same onboard AmaWaterways experience. Now, I have been hearing from my travel advisor friends that some people out there are very eager to book their dream river cruise vacation, but they're just wanting to wait. They're kind of not so sure about maybe how the future of a company is going to be after the COVID situation is gone. They want to make sure of the sustainability of a company. So allow me to let you in on the sustainability of AmaWaterways as a company. So folks, as I said, we've got 25 ships all around the world, and a river cruise ship costs anywhere between $40 and $70 million a ship to build. Well, folks, every time we build a ship, we pay for it in cash up front. We have no debt with any of our ships. We don't use any sort of creditors or loans in order to finance the building of our ships. And folks, you don't have to be an accountant to figure out, but with about that many ships at that cost, it gives us well over $1 billion in assets, making a very sustainable company. So you can book confidently with your travel advisors now for cruises either later this year, next year, or into 2022. And as you can see, there's a quote from our owner down there, Rudy, saying, "There is no debt on any of our ships. I can sleep at night." And I can only imagine building ships like that, if you were carrying any sort of debt load, it would just be, well, it would give you nightmares, I'm sure. So very, very proud that we can actually present that to you to really make sure that you can book confidently with your travel advisor no matter where you are looking to travel. Now, what I've decided to do tonight is show you exactly how Rudy makes sure that you are getting that same onboard AmaWaterways experience no matter where you cruise with us in the world. So the pictures in these next few slides are going to be of our European fleet. And of course, amazing, they are all sister ships and such, but it really is going to show you how the European ships have inspired him building these other beautiful ships on our exotic rivers, just to show you that you really are getting that same onboard experience. So in the top left-hand corner, that is our signature twin balcony suite that we have on all of our ships over in Europe. And Rudy wanted to bring that beautiful balcony experience to all of our river cruise ships in our exotic destinations. So the top two pictures in the middle and the right, those are the twin balcony suites we have on the brand new, well, not brand new, the new Amadara. She was rebuilt in 2016, brand new ship to replace our older ship. Again, making sure that she has the same signature features that her European sisters do. So those are the twin balcony suites. The bottom two pictures are actually the Zambezi Queen, which cruises with us on the Chobe River. So again, the regular Queen suites right up to the corner Queen suites. As you can see, stunning ceiling to floor French balcony styled suites there. So again, that same similar experience. And down in the bottom right-hand corner is going to be the newest ship in our exotics fleet, and that is the Amadalia coming over on the Nile River in Egypt. So just to go show you that, you know, a lot of guests start with us, obviously over in Europe, and really wants to make sure that any of our exotic destinations, you're getting that same onboard AmaWaterways experience. That translates over to the lounges. So we've got great lounges, obviously, on each and every one of our ships for you to relax and enjoy. And in each one of these exotic destinations, we always have locally themed entertainment. We feel it's very important to bring you the full cultural experience of the destination you are traveling through. Even when we are cruising in the evening hours, we want to make sure you're getting local, authentic entertainment. So each and every one of our exotic river cruises has local entertainment that we bring on board. And then, of course, into the later hours, there's music played after the local entertainment is done as well. Onboard dining. Folks, this is something truly spectacular on all of our river cruises around the world. Now, the top left corner is a shot of our main dining room on our European vessels. So as you can see, that dining room has inspired the look and the feel on all of Rudy's other ships in and around the world. Now, we've always got a choice of different restaurants on all of our ships. The only exception is the Zambezi Queen over on the Chobe River, which I will explain in just a moment's time. So top middle picture is the Mekong restaurant on the beautiful Amadara down on the Southeast Asian river cruise. And there is the chef's table, the second restaurant, just like you would find on our European ship. Totally different restaurant, totally different menu. And again, we make sure everybody gets a chance to dine in this restaurant at least once during their journey, because we won't take a second reservation from guests until everybody else has made their first reservation. Now, on the Zambezi Queen, we have a beautiful restaurant, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, but we only have 28 guests on the Zambezi Queen. There really isn't a need to have a second restaurant on board, especially when you have these beautiful ceiling-to-floor windows that you're always able to look out, enjoy all of the lovely animals, all the safari, all the beautiful views over on the Chobe River. So we felt we didn't need to do the second restaurant, having that few people and that stunning of a panoramic restaurant view. And of course, on the Amadalia, which is about to be built, it is going to have the two restaurants. It's going to have your main restaurant experience, and it will have the chef's table as well. Now, all of our food on all of our exotic cruises is locally inspired cuisine. Again, we want to make sure that your experience is not just about all the customs and things there are to see down there, but also having that culinary experience as well. Now, fear not, folks. Yes, it is Asian inspired on the Mekong. It is African inspired. It's Egyptian inspired meals. But please remember, there's always a standard international selection of meals available. So if you're not feeling inspired by the local cuisine, there's always other options on all of our exotic cruises for you to enjoy as well. Now, sun decks, especially in the exotic locations, these are extremely popular. And of course, this in the top left-hand corner is a shot of our rooftop heated pool that we have on all of our European ships. So we wanted to bring that beautiful sun deck experience over to our exotic river cruises as well. So this is what the sun deck's going to look like in the top right-hand corner on the new ship over on the Nile River on the Amadalia. Bottom left-hand corner, that is the sun deck and pool on the Amadara down on the Mekong. Open air pool, but of course the deck itself is covered over. It can get very hot down there. Fans and such. There's even a pool bar as well for you to enjoy. And of course the Zambezi Queen sun deck has a whole different purpose. It is all about going up there and seeing all of the wildlife that is all within, within camera range of the Zambezi Queen. So really open concept design. Of course, there's animals in the river. As you can see in that bottom right-hand corner, that is how close you get to the shore to all of the wildlife. So truly a spectacular experience and a great way to see this relaxing on the sun deck on the Zambezi Queen as well. So just a little map overview of where it is that we actually cruise. Like I said, we cover all the rivers of Europe. Hopefully many of you have been on one of our cruises over in Europe, but we have those exotic destinations outside of continental Europe. Of course, we've got the Mekong in Southeast Asia. We've got 2 destinations now in Africa. We've got the Nile and the Chobe. And yes, rumor has it, Rudy is not quite done yet. He is looking at other exotic locales to further enhance and add to our exotic river cruise catalog as well. But we are going to start off with a bit of a detailed overview on these itineraries, truly what makes them special and such. And we call them our exotics branding. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this goes for all of our exotic rivers. Please, if you've been on our European river cruises, you know Europe is very nicely set up for river cruise passengers. Of course, they have beautiful docking areas. You've got very easy to walk around, get through all those areas in Europe. Please note with our exotics, these are true authentic experiences. And unfortunately, a lot of these countries are not quite to the same industrial standard that you would find over in Europe or in North America. So as a result, if you're looking into these products, you do need to note that you do need to have some mobility in order to properly go on these river cruises. For instance, in Southeast Asia, you don't always have level docking areas to get off. The crew, of course, is there to help you every step of the way, but you just have to note that it's not the smooth areas that that you'd be known for if you were over on a European river cruise. The same, of course, goes for Africa. Now, I will say the Nile is definitely going to be much closer to the European experience, but of course, over in the Chobe, you're on the wildlife areas and such. You will be having to get in smaller water safari boats. So again, some mobility will be needed in order for you to properly enjoy these exotic river destinations. So just keep that in mind as I go into detail on each of these. So I'm going to start off with the exotic Mekong River. Now the Mekong itself, like I said, one of my favorites. I've done this a few times now, and it is honestly the best way to see this region. Items such as floating villages, floating markets, floating schools, things that you can only see from the rivers and the way that a lot of people still exist and operate down in these areas today. Now, we were the very first North American river cruise line to ever cruise down on the Mekong with a ship. As a result, we've actually got a number of areas that are exclusive just to AmaWaterways still as a result of our pioneering and paving the way down for Mekong river cruising. So when you're looking at our product, we have 2 itineraries. Now, there is not a lot of difference, I will tell you right now. Charms of the Mekong is our upstream version. Riches of the Mekong is the downstream. So essentially, it is the same itinerary going in different directions, but there are a couple of changes between them, which I will go through as we go through the program itself. So I'm going to go into detail on Charms of the Mekong. Now, the Amadara is a new ship for us that came out in 2016. It replaced our older ship. And again, it was really with the point that Rudy wanted to make sure you're getting that same onboard AmaWaterways experience. So it has the twin balcony suites now, 120 guests, and the full package down into this region is what I recommend. The core package will be, of course, it will be a stay in southern Vietnam into Cambodia and your 7-night river cruise. But folks, don't miss out on your your 4-night extension up into northern Vietnam. That is an add-on, but if you're going to go all this way, I encourage you take the full 15-night package, because northern Vietnam to southern Vietnam to Cambodia are all very different cultural experiences. And brand new for us, we've actually just launched it for next season. If you want to extend, you can even do a Thailand extension on the back end of your Vietnam and Cambodia package as well. Now, I will tell you right now, I consider the upstream, and I know this goes against what probably everybody else in my company will tell you, my favorite way of doing it is the upstream version, and I'm going to tell you why. So, of course, when you start off, you are going to land into Ho Chi Minh City. Now, Southern Vietnam developed into democracy about 25 years earlier than Northern Vietnam. So as a result, you've got a mix of old and new. And honestly, Ho Chi Minh City is a huge, thriving South Asian metropolis city. So you, of course, get sightseeing. You are staying for a couple of nights in Ho Chi Minh City. We have sightseeing to take you all around, so you get to see a mix of old and mix of new. But truly, it is a booming metropolis down into this area. Now, on the other end of your river cruise, of course, you're going to be up into Cambodia, and you'll do either a 2 or a 3-night package up in Siem Reap. Again, 5-star centrally located hotel. And you're going to get an opportunity, of course, to see all of the different temples. And Cambodia is a totally different experience. It's very relaxed, very laid back, super friendly people. I could go back and spend weeks at a time in Cambodia. But these are shots of some of the temples. And depending on which temple it is that you go to see, and they're all included in your tour, you're going to notice different levels of restoration on these. So this is the Prom Temple, of course. As you can see, this is really how nature is intended to be. The trees have really overtaken these temples over the centuries, really grown in, and it's spectacular to see how this is done. And these will never be removed. The Cambodian government decided that they'd like to maintain some temples exactly how it is that they would naturally progress over time. So it's really very, very neat to see things like this. But of course, the big one is Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is the absolute stunning. It's the mecca of the temples down into the Cambodian region. You can kind of see the little reflection. It does sit right behind a beautiful little watered area. Now, I will tell you, this is my little tip for you folks. When you go down to this area, you are going to have 2 opportunities to see Angkor Wat. One will be a super early departure, and it's in order that you can arrive at Angkor Wat in order to see the sunrise over the temples, reflect off the cascading pools. Absolutely stunning experience. But it is an early departure. I believe you will be picked up at your hotel at 5 a.m. Now, folks, if there's anybody out there who knows me, I'm not a morning person. I don't believe anything before 10 o'clock in the morning should actually exist. But I was convinced by my cruise manager that I had to get up, I had to do that sunrise tour, and let me tell you, it was out of this world spectacular. So that is my word of advice. Yes, there is a 9 o'clock departure as well that leaves later on that you can certainly do, but folks, I highly recommend it. It is something like you'll never see again in your lifetime. So now that extension I spoke to you about, going up to northern Vietnam and into Hanoi, it is extremely recommended because, like I said, northern Vietnam has not really developed about 25 years after southern Vietnam. So even though it is the same country, you're going to see a totally different lifestyle and culture up there. This is just really some of the local, whereas in Ho Chi Minh City, yes, there's lots of bikes, things like that, but there is a lot of cars and motorbikes, whereas up in Hanoi, it's a lot of trishaws, a lot of rickshaws, a lot of regular bikes. Yes, there's cars and such as well, but it's nowhere near developed like southern Vietnam. So it's fascinating to see how the 2 different parts of Vietnam have developed, and they are functioning as one country right now. So of course, your package is going to have a couple of nights in centrally located hotels up there, but this is something very unique as well. Halong Bay, one of the wonders of the world, true beauty out into Halong Bay. Now, yes, you go out for a full day. There is lots of boats, lots of tourists out to this absolute stunning area, but we've done something very unique. You actually overnight on Halong Bay when you go with us on the 5-star luxury yacht called the Paradise Elegance, again, to match, of course, with your river cruise experience. And it really does make this spectacular because once the sun goes down and all the tourist boats go away, there is next to nobody out in Halong Bay. It is an absolute beautiful experience. And of course, you'll have your meals on board. You have all it cruises around in the evening, and you really get a chance to see this stunning area lit up naturally by the moonlight, because everything is bouncing off of the water. So an absolute stunning experience, and very unique, because like I said, you'll probably see nobody else out on Halong Bay when you are out there as well. So those are some of the pre and post extensions. I also mentioned that brand new for us is a Thailand extension. So if you're actually looking to explore more of Southern Asia, you can actually add a 3-night package over into Bangkok as well. But of course, the jewel of this trip is the 7-night river cruise experience on the Mekong River, and it takes you between southern Vietnam and Cambodia. And it's on the AmaWaterways, as you can see here, 120 guests. And if any of you have been on a river cruise with us before, the ships on our exotics are slightly different because we don't have locks to go through. We don't have the low bridges to go under. So the looks to the ships are slightly different. They can be a bit bigger, a bit taller and such, and maybe not quite as long. We don't have those same building restrictions, but inside, very similar look, like I said, to our European ships, just making sure that we've kind of matched to the decor of the area we are going through. So true Victorian stylings over on the AmaWaterways itself. Now, some of these beautiful experiences, and I'm going to tell you why it is that I prefer the upstream going up. And it really is because I find each and every day, once you board the ship in Ho Chi Minh City and you end up in Cambodia, it just gets better and better with each day. So you've left that big, thriving metropolis at the beginning of your cruise in Ho Chi Minh City, and you're really, with each and every day on this cruise, getting into more and more of what the authentic country of both Vietnam and Cambodia truly look like. So that is why I prefer the upstream version myself. But of course, the downstream has the advantage that you are basically drifting down the stream, so it doesn't take as much energy. Not that there's a lot of current and stuff on the river to begin with, but that is what a lot of people favor about the downstream. So some of the highlights though, and of course there's tours included every single day. Some of these tours are done by varying excursions. Some of them are done right from the boat themselves, taking you on smaller water excursions. But some of the highlights that you're going to get to see, going off to Udon, which is the religious capital, of course, into the area, and you actually get to participate in a traditional Buddhist blessing ceremony. And it really is a highlight to understand exactly how this religion functions in Vietnam and in Cambodia. And folks, when we say we're giving you the authentic experience, there are lots of authentic experiences, including part of your touring in Tan Chau being on one of the traditional trishaws. So you'll be taken around the area in the traditional formats. It's kind of a very neat way to see some of these areas, as opposed to, it allows you to interact with the locals. We don't really want to bring the big coaches out there. It's, again, taking away from that authentic experience. So yes, trishaw ride, there's even ox cart rides. And Phnom Penh, this is the capital of Cambodia. Now, some incredible sights. Yes, you'll have your sightseeing. Of course, that's the Royal Palace on the right and the Central Market on the left. You'll get the full day tour, and it is a late night, overnight experience in Phnom Penh. Quite incredible nightlife. And I will tell you, one of the things we did was we went up to a sky bar that's on I think it's there's a 35-story building not far from the ship. Gives you incredible views. So go up there for a post-dinner cocktail after you've had dinner on board. Now, this is gonna be my tip for you folks. A lot of people are going to go down to this area and they are going to know that it is incredible for shopping. Yes, it really is. Do not do your shopping in Ho Chi Minh City, folks. Do your shopping in Phnom Penh. You can go to all the markets as you see there. You are going to get far better bargains than you will in Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City, again, thriving metropolis. They're used to having a lot of people there in and out. They do not have the best bargains. Phnom Penh is where you're going to get the deals. So keep that in mind. And of course, we're going to take you off to Okantne. It's Silk Island to see some of the natural progressions of silk out of this region. But I will say that probably the biggest highlight is the fact that we're going to take you off to an elementary school. Now, Rudy and Christine wanted to give back to this region when we first started river cruising. So on our very first year, we decided we wanted to sponsor a school. We wanted to take part of your cruise costs and put them towards educating kids in this smaller town. So you're going to take you to this school. It's quite an emotional experience, I will tell you this. There's a lovely plaque dedicated to say that the school is basically built and fully funded by AmaWaterways. And yes, if you want, folks, you're going to see this in your documents when you get a chance to go. We're going to recommend, if you want to go into your local dollar store or your local Winners or wherever, buy some school supplies for the kids. bring it to them. They absolutely love this. All those things in and around, and you even get a chance to actually teach the kids as well. So it's a really beautiful interactive experience, and really one of the biggest highlights on that particular journey as well. So like I said, that's Charms of the Mekong. Riches of the Mekong is the downstream version, and honestly, the only difference is that you do 3 nights in Siem Reap versus 2 nights in Siem Reap with the upstream, and you flip that around and do 2 nights in Hanoi as opposed to 3 nights. Now, you do not miss out on any of the tours in either direction. Exactly the same, they're just done in different timings and such. It's really, the reason for this is works around the flights, because your domestic flights are included with your Southeast Asian cruise and land package. So it's really just works around the flight timings as to when you can fly in, because there's limited flights each and every day between the cities that are direct. So one just works out that you have 1 night extra here and 1 less night, but all the touring remains the same. So with that being said, hopefully I've got you very excited about this, but I'm going to take you on a little video journey of the beautiful Mekong River Cruise to really get an idea and insight as to all the incredible things you will see on this beautiful experience as well. Hopefully that gives you a little visual insight as to truly what makes that cruise a spectacular experience as well. So folks, now I'm going to move over to the continent of Africa to a couple of incredible river cruise experiences as well. The first one being down on the Chobe River, and this is our wildlife safari river cruise, and it's truly a spectacular experience over on the Chobe River, because honestly, if you go to this area, the main reason, of course, is to go and see the wildlife. And if you're to take a land safari, there's never a guarantee that you're going to see all of the wildlife in the area. However, with our wildlife river cruise, we can guarantee exactly that. We can guarantee you'll see all of the wildlife that is in and around the Chobe River, because the Chobe River is the only watering hole between Namibia and Botswana, meaning all of these animals must come to this river every single day to bathe and to feed, and that's where you'd be sitting on your beautiful river cruise ship, the Zambezi Queen. Now, there's 5 different itineraries we have. They're all built around that core product, of course, which is your Chobe River Cruise experience. So the core product is called Discover Africa. Now, it is 3 nights in Cape Town, the 4-night safari cruise, and 2 nights in Victoria Falls. That is the core package that all of our programs are built around. So a minimum 10 days, 9 nights. I will tell you right now, I don't think anybody books the core package. They all book the longer packages to go off into other areas, but that's just the core package that's around all of our areas. So these are the next little ones that are quite popular, and for very different reasons. There's one called Rivers and Rail of Africa. Now, this has that core package that I just talked about, but it also has 3 nights on the Rovos Rail experience. So after you are done in Victoria Falls, you're going to take a 3-night journey between Victoria Falls and Pretoria. And I can tell you, it is one of the top 5 train journeys around the world. High-end, super luxury, really old-style carriages that you get a chance to go see. All of your meals, of course, all of your drinks are included on the Rovos Rail experience, and it takes you through the heart of these stunning countries. You've got the sightseeing cars and such as well, so quite an incredible experience. So it's a nice combination of having the rail with the river cruise with your land stays, of course, in Cape Town as well. Now, another itinerary, of course, is called it is our wildlife and the falls package. And again, this is just slightly different. Of course, you have got 3 nights in Johannesburg. You've got the 4 nights safari cruise and 2 nights in Victoria Falls, but it adds 3 nights in Kruger National Park. So again, giving you a very different feel. Of course, you've been on the Chobe River with the, which I'll go into, don't worry, folks, I'm gonna go into the Zambezi Queen. I leave that for the end because that truly is the highlight of the package. But this one allows you to add 3 nights into Kruger National Park. And it is one of the top rated game reserves in the entire world, all of the amazing wildlife that you see in the area, of course. And we stay at one of 2 5-star lodges that are in the area, either Tin Swallow, which is the one on the left, or Makani Game Lodge on the right. It's just based on availability at the time as to which lodge we put you in, but these are very close. These are sister lodges, so absolute stunning experiences. And of course, you will be doing your, when you have 3 nights there, you have safaris that are included each and every one of your days, right from the lodges. And of course, again, all of your meals, all of the luxury that is in there as well. So again, very neat way of seeing the area because you get your river cruise experience, having a totally different feel. And remember, this is up in Namibia and Botswana. Kruger is in the heart of South Africa. So again, totally different gaming experiences down here. And of course, combine that with your city stay in either Johannesburg or over into Cape Town. But I will tell you that our most popular program that we have, one of the 2 of them, is the first one. It's called the Stars of South Africa. And it's quite spectacular because it includes all of those great highlights that we've just mentioned. So of course, you get the 2 nights in Joburg, you get the 3 nights in Cape Town, you get your 4-night safari cruise, 2 nights over in Victoria Falls at the end, and 3 nights into Kruger National Park. So it's a beautiful 14-night experience, really highlights all of those incredible areas that we've talked about. Now, Johannesburg is a thriving metropolis city. And of course, you'll do a couple of nights here. You'll get to see a lot of the history portions that are related to Johannesburg. You're always staying in 5-star centrally located hotels. And of course, breakfasts are included daily. You have some dinners, some lunches, depending on your tours. Now, when your meals aren't included, remember, you've got your local guides, your cruise managers who are going to take you through, tell you all about the different areas. Because again, we want to make sure you're getting that full culinary experience in these areas as well. Cape Town, very different city. Of course, that's Table Mountain in the back. You get a chance to go off and see some of the various excursions on each of the days that you are in Cape Town. It's a 4-day, 3-night package, usually over into the Cape Town area. Again, staying with a 5-star centrally located hotel. And Victoria Falls is the anchor of our river cruise experience. And you'll be doing 2 nights on the Zambian side. I get a chance to see all of the Victoria Falls views right from your hotel. You get a chance to see the rail journey that takes you across overlooking Victoria Falls. That's the same rail experience that the Rovos Rail will be taking off from Victoria Falls, going down through Pretoria. So again, just a beautiful chance. This is where obviously the Chobe River is ending. Can't take you that close to the falls because it's not exactly easy to transverse there, but spectacular experience again that anchors you off with Victoria Falls. But the core, the highlight is the Zambezi Queen. Now, it is a much smaller ship experience than our regular ships. There's only 28 guests on board this beautiful ship. But as you saw, the accommodation, very similar, inspired to our European vessels. You've got that beautiful sun deck. And as you can see in this picture, you're always within sight of land. The animals are always on the shore, day and night, feeding, bathing, doing all of those things, day and night. You all have balcony suites. You've all got that beautiful top sun deck. Stunning ways to see all of these animals. And right from the ship as well, we will do smaller boat safari tours to take you right up to see some of the wildlife. Again, very unique way of seeing it, because when you're on the land, these animals could be in the brush, they could be sleeping, they could be doing wherever, off hiding, they could be in their caves, in their huts, wherever they like to be. When they come to the river, they all must be out there. They're all active because they must remain active. You're not going to find anybody sleeping on the banks of the river. This is the wild. So again, an amazing way of seeing this. There will be smaller land safari tours, but here's a shot of the Zambezi Queen, close up to some of the wildlife. And I can tell you that about 80% of the pictures on our website and in our brochure were all taken by guests. That is how close you get up to all of the wildlife that is in the area. And of course, there will be land safari tours as well. So you get a mix of both land and water safari tours to see all of the stunning wildlife that is in the area as well. The other very popular one though, because I have a lot of guests come to me saying, well, I've already done South Africa. I'd love to do your river cruise, but I don't need to really go back and spend much time in South Africa. Fear not, we've got a component that you can actually do. It's called our Golden Trails of Africa, and it will take you up to an Eastern African extension up into Tanzania. So again, you've got that same core package. Your flights will still be in and out of Johannesburg. So there's a couple of nights built in there just because of the flight. You get a couple of nights in Victoria Falls and of course your 4-night safari cruise, but then we take you up into Tanzania. And I can tell you, after I've living there, I know this area very, very well, totally different experience with regards to the wildlife than what you're gonna see in Central Africa, in Namibia and Botswana, and down into South Africa. So it's an incredible way of getting 3 completely different gaming and wildlife experiences. So when you're up in Tanzania, one of the highlights of the stays are the Treetops Lodge. Again, this is in Tangier National Park. You get a chance to, right from your areas, to overlook all of the wildlife that just wanders in and around through the lodge areas, and absolutely some stunning views for you to enjoy as well. We're going to take you to 4 different national parks when you're doing the East African tour, including the Serengeti National Park, and especially probably the highlight is the Ngorongoro Crater National Park as well. So you're spending a couple of nights in each of these various areas on different 5-star lodges as well for you to stay at. So that is the other option, of course, for you to enjoy if you have already done South Africa and you'd like to go up and do East Africa instead. And I just want to give you a little highlight as to what the true luxury is, because sometimes people find it hard to believe when you're going into these parts of Africa, just how luxurious the experience is. So let me just give you a little glimpse into the Zambezi Queen experience. Every time I watch that video, it makes me want to go back. So really is a spectacular way of seeing that beautiful destination, of course, as well. And The final one I'm going to move into is our newest one, and we are debuting in September of next year over on the very historical Nile River in Egypt. It's our return to the Nile. It's our return to Egypt, and we're very excited because we are going to be the first North American river cruise line to have our own ship sailing on the Nile, which means we can guarantee that same AmaWaterways experience on all of our exotic rivers as well. So the program itself is going to be called The Secrets of Egypt and the Nile. It is a 7-night river cruise, of course, over onto the Nile River. The AmaDahlia is going to have 68 passengers on board. 4 nights in Cairo, 3 nights at the beginning with a night at the end, with some extensions available for you as well. But some of those extensions I'm going to tell you about. If you're interested, of course, you can go off into Dubai. This is a beautiful area. We've got a 3-night package that you can do there before you join this. Beautiful touring in both the Emirates. So you've got Dubai out into the outer areas as well as over into Abu Dhabi as well. You've also got an option to do an extension into Jordan if you'd like to do that ahead of time, over into Amman. And of course, the highlights being over into Petra and the absolute stunning treasury and some of the amazing wonders of the world over there as well. 4-day, 3-night package extension that you can do into Jordan ahead of your cruise. But the package itself will be 4 nights in Cairo, 3 nights at the beginning, 1 night at the end. And again, it just has to do with domestic flight timings that we've broken this out now. Cairo is Egypt's capital city, and it truly is a mix of old and new, a thriving area which has really worked very well to mix their old architecture with their new. And of course, you'll have sightseeing to take you in and around the city itself, some of the new areas, some of the old, and of course, the highlights out into the areas, the pyramids of Giza, and of course, the famous Great Sphinx outside of Cairo as well. You stay at the Four Seasons Residence Hotel, centrally located, overlooking the Nile. So incredible way, of course, to see all of this area. But let me just tell you a little bit more, or have one of my cruise managers tell you about the mysteries of Cairo as well.
Hi everyone, Salam Alaikum. My name is Boyan and I'm a cruise manager with AmaWaterways. Imagine yourself waking up in Cairo, the capital of Egypt, and there you are right next to the Great Pyramid of Giza, the only remaining of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. In the old days, the pyramids had their own bodyguards, so more than 4,000 years ago, the pyramids had the Sphinx. And the Great Sphinx had a riddle for every soul approaching the pyramid. And the riddle is, what's the creature using 4 legs in the morning, uses 2 legs at noon and 3 legs in the evening? Our excellent AmaDahlia and its wonderful crew can't wait to assist you with all the secrets of Egypt. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Shukran. Wassalam.
So I guess that's Bojan's way of saying you can't find out the answer to the riddle until you go on a beautiful Nile River cruise. And of course, the cruise itself is going to be on the beautiful AmaDahlia. 68 passengers. We're very excited about this brand new ship. Like I said, it's the first new build ship over in Egypt in over 20 years. We are the only river cruise line to have our own vessel sailing over there. So again, ensuring that beautiful AmaWaterways experience, as you saw in the shots earlier up. And of course, it's a 7-night cruise round trip in and out of Luxor. Your domestic flights, of course, will be included to take you from Cairo down to Luxor. Absolute stunning temples lit up day and night. Of course, you're always within sight of these beautiful areas as you go through. And again, we want to incorporate some traditional transportation modes. So one of the days we'll be taking off into Aswan on a traditional felucca ride to take you over into Aswan as well. And we will take you to one of those little Nubian villages. Incredible colors that you see on the buildings and marketplaces and such as well. So again, some of the highlights into the area, but probably one of the biggest highlights, and this is our little Ama insider tip, folks. Abu Simbel is the probably the most restored, the most perfectly reserved templed and worship areas. Now, Abu Simbel is the only thing in our package which is not included, and the reason for this is that in order to get to Abu Simbel, you will be going on a very short, probably about a 20-minute flight on a 24 to 28-seater plane. They are the prop planes. They're operated by the national air carrier Egypt Air, but we know from feedback previous that some guests just do not or cannot handle the small planes. So that's the only reason it's not been included. Like I said, it's operated by the national air carriers, no problems. It's just that we know that some guests have issues with the smaller style planes. So that is why it's an additional cost. Limited numbers though, of course. So if you are interested, please make sure that you book that ahead of time as well in order to enjoy. But this is just a shot of Abu Simbel, of course, perfectly reserved under there, and you're able to walk all the way through it as well. And sorry, there is a post package available over into Israel, staying in Jerusalem. So if you're interested in adding that, highlights, of course, you've got into the areas will be taken around the Jerusalem area, and of course over into the famous Dead Sea as well. So all sorts of amazing pre-packages, post packages that you can obviously operate throughout. And this whole area is all different cultures, different races, different mix of history and things like that. And Peter, one of our great cruise managers, has a word of advice for you as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Pete and I'm lucky enough to be one of the cruise managers at AmaWaterways. Now if you're someone who enjoys new itineraries and if you're someone who likes new destinations and cruising on brand new river cruise ships, then September 2021 is going to be great for you because this is when AmaWaterways debuts the Armadalia onto the Nile River in Egypt. Now remember, the Nile has over 4,000 miles and Egypt has 5,000 years of history. So if you're someone like me who likes to do a bit of research before you go and visit a place, this doesn't leave us very much time, does it? I would recommend to you a series of books by a gentleman called Christian Jacques, French Egyptologist. Wonderful books about one of the pharaohs, Ramses II. And having read this, you get right in the mood for Egypt. Now I'm ready for pyramids and temples and Tutankhamun and Cleopatra and Mark Antony and even Agatha Christie and Hercule Poirot and Death on the Nile. And also fantastic Egyptian food and wonderful Egyptian hospitality. September 2021 can't come quick enough.
I'm very glad that Peter mentioned the Egyptologist. Now, when we are planning our Egypt trips and such, we will have our cruise managers such as Peter and Bojan over there on the Armadalia escorting you around as well. But for each of the areas, because they're all very different to each of the pharaohs that were ruling at the time, we have special Egyptologists that will also be accompanying our cruise managers and our guides as well, because each area is very complex as far as the history. So we have kind of extra amounts of guides just so you're getting all the best experiences down there. So folks, that is our exotic rivers of AmaWaterways that we cruise. I love these products. They are completely different experiences and honestly the best way to see some of these regions. Now there are some great offers out for our current seasons. Now remember, each of these three products have slightly different seasonality as far as when they are operating. The Chobe River runs from March through till the end of December primarily. Middle part of December. That is for the wildlife portions. Our Egypt season will be September through till the beginning of May. And of course, the Mekong season is January through till May. We stop for a few months and then it picks back up again in the second half. So all slightly different seasonalities. Right now with COVID, of course, all cruises are suspended, but we are hoping that our Africa season will be starting up in March as planned. Egypt will be coming online in September. The only one that we're kind of waiting on is Southeast Asia. They've been very, very strict about allowing tourists in there. They've actually had next to no cases of COVID in both Vietnam and Cambodia. In fact, under 20 cases, I think, are left active in Cambodia and under 40 in Vietnam. But they are restricting tourism at this time and actually charging guests to go into those countries. So as it is right now, that's the only reason we are suspended, is simply due to that. They are ready to take the guests on. They are just wanting to make sure, and they'll be very restrictive as to which countries they start allowing back in. So we're just in a holding pattern waiting on that, but hoping that it starts up very soon in the new year as well. There are some great offers. In fact, with Southeast Asia, we've got an incredible promotion out right now until the end of September, 2 for 1 on the land component. So of course your cruise package is 7 nights, then you've got the other land components. So right now, great time to take advantage because it would be 2 for the price of 1 on the land components. And Egypt has a great savings as well, up to $600 off per stateroom savings as well. So there are some offers. Remember, it's one ship in each of these areas with much smaller numbers. They fill up very quickly. And yes, you can add the Travel Waiver Plus to really allow for you to change your mind, travel with full peace of mind for absolutely any reason. whatsoever. But as a thank you for tuning in to our exotic rivers presentation tonight, in addition to whatever the early booking offers are, I want to offer you another $200 off per couple for any booking you make in the next couple of weeks with your local travel advisor. So do take advantage of that. Remember, like I said, with only having one chip on, these fill up much quicker than our other destinations. So we are booking into 2021, we're booking into 2022, and with Africa and the Chobe, we've already started booking into 2023. So keep that in mind when you're discovering one of these exotic destinations. And folks, that is our return to the rivers, our return to the exotic destinations that AmaWaterways is thrilled to be selling as well. So folks, at this stage of the presentation, I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. Just type them into that little chat box in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and I can answer those. If you don't have any questions that you come up with right now at this time, remember, just get in touch with all of whoever your travel advisor is. You can ask them. If they do not know the answers to the question, I guarantee you all of my travel advisor friends know how to get a hold of me 24/7, and I can get the answers over to them very, very quickly on your behalf. So I don't see any questions coming in to the box, so I will assume you're all ready to go on one of our beautiful exotic destinations with AmaWaterways. So we look forward to having you on board very, very soon. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to our exotics destination, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Please stay Ama strong. Thank you, everyone.